Senate committee advanced two bills today, one addressing voter eligibility and another establishing timelines for special elections. Our Capitol Bureau reporter Cody Butler has the details.
Florida is often considered the gold standard when it comes to election administration, especially after the debacle in 2000. Now, state senators are pushing to strengthen that even more, despite widespread opposition. It was standing room only as the Senate committee cast the first vote on controversial election reforms.
This is meant to streamline processes and ensure that it's easier for people to vote.
Senator Aaron Grall's bill requires immigration status to be verified before someone can vote. It would allow local election supervisors to access information from the Department of Highway Safety motor vehicles to check to see who has a real ID, which already requires proof of U.S. citizenship.
It allows us to use a system that works, that has already confirmed this information, to interact with the supervisors of elections.
Supporters say it's a common sense safeguard, but critics pack the hearing, calling it voter suppression.
It will make it harder and impossible for many U.S. citizens to register to vote in this state, and it will also remove U.S. citizens from the rolls.
Common Ground Executive Director Amy Keith argues this bill is unnecessary. Non-citizens voting is already a felony with severe penalties, including perjury charges.
It's actually multiple felonies if you were to try to do this, and so we know that the punishments are very harsh if somebody does try to violate that rule. That is not what this is about.
The committee took a different approach with another bill. This one has bipartisan support and addresses a real problem: delays in special elections. Under the new measure, the governor would be required to set a date for a special election within 14 days of a vacancy. The push comes after Governor Ron DeSantis moved quickly to announce some elections while stalling on others.
When there is a delay in calling a special election, we are leaving people without representation in government. This isn't just an abstract thing. This means that they don't have a voice in the legislature.
The election reform bill is getting a hearing in the House on Thursday. At the Florida State Capitol, I'm Cody Butler reporting.